Money FM 89.3, the best of Saturday mornings.
We're going to start off talking to our old friend Jeremy Monteiro, jazz man extraordinaire here in Singapore. He is going to have his 65th birthday concert the 14th of March. For those of you who don't have your calendar in front of you, that is next Friday. And let's bring Jeremy on now. Jeremy, how you doing?
Pretty good. Glenn, how are you?
Doing well,
and
doing
Neil,
well.
Good to hear you as well.
Hello.
You know, it just seems like 5 years ago we were celebrating your 60th.
Yeah, time just flies, doesn't it? Just flies. Yeah.
Tell us about the show
Yeah.
that's coming up on the 14th at the Esplanade.
Well, the first half of the show, I'll be showing off my piano playing prowess with in the trio, quartet, and quintet format. With the great bass player Jay Anderson will be joining us for that. You know, one of the great bass players of the world. And then on drums will be my old friend Hong from Thailand. And then Sean Hongwei, with whom I had a top 50 jazz charts hit in last year, will also be joining together with the co-founder of the Paris Big Band, Nicolas Folmer. And then in the second half, we'll be playing more with big band. So the Jazz Association Singapore Big Band and some of our guests will be on that one. And we'll be playing mostly originals. Luis Soliano, my mentor and Singapore's godfather of jazz, will be joining for that. Lynette Seah, who used to be the co-principal leader of the Singapore Symphony Orchestra, will come and play a couple of tunes. It's a pretty varied show, kind of just like a sweep through. It's called Jeremy Monteiro at 65, The State of My Art.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Now, Jeremy, I've been going through the annals of history, and I've discovered that only two people that I'm aware of have regular music concerts for milestone birthdays. One is Jeremy Monteiro, and the other is the late Queen Elizabeth of the United Kingdom. How is it that you and the Queen seem to have regular milestone concerts for your birthdays? How does that come about?
Well, you know, I mean, I have had this wonderful partnership with the Esplanade for more than 20 years now, and I've actually been on the Esplanade stage almost 30 times, this concert hall, and also a bunch of times on the recital hall stage. And, you know, it's just wonderful that they allow me to do, well, you know, I retired the Jazzy Christmas concert in 2023 was my last one after 20 years. People are egging me on to bring it back, but I'm still enjoying my hiatus. But you know, it's nice to be able to do that. I still get nervous, you know, getting on that Esplanade stage after all these times.
That's surprising,
I get
Jeremy.
on stage, I feel like I'm about to jump off a cliff. You know, that's really very exhilarating.
Yeah, look, it's you know, anytime you get up on a big stage like that, I guess some of the nerves come in, but that's good though, right? To have a little bit of nervousness, it drives a level of perfection probably that you might not have otherwise.
Yeah. You know, Elvis actually said that he was nervous all the way, and and people said that he was nervous until the very last concert, which is a good thing. But you know, when I get on and I play the first tune, it evaporates, you know.
So far we've compared you to the late Queen and Elvis. So you're doing very well. What kind of music? Jazz, obviously, but what kind of music are we going to expect from Jeremy Monteiro at 65, The State of My Art?
Well, you know, the first half is meant to be kind of spontaneous, and I actually in the program I said songs will be decided as the musicians play. On the second half, of course, is more structured because it's a big band. We have to rehearse with 19 musicians. First half, I'll play tunes like Blues for Captain Hans, like a bebop head, you know. And then also I'm thinking about playing this tune by Cole Porter called All of You. So, you know, the first half is still in progress. It's still gestating. I have to decide by Monday, but because I have my first rehearsal with the guys on Tuesday. But, you know, it's just jazz, right? So basically, you know, it's going to be spontaneous the first half, and then the second half will be a little more structured, and beautiful arrangements, you know, by Scott Rautenberg in the U.S. and Chok Karong, our very own arranger extraordinaire, will be helping me conduct the jazz orchestra, and as well as playing on some tunes as well.
That's gonna be a great show. It sounds like, and Esplanade's such a nice place to listen to a concert. What are you expecting? What are you expecting in terms of the crowds? Have you been getting good kind of pre-sales happening on the tickets? Or I mean, obviously you're always looking for more people to buy tickets, but are you getting some pretty good buzz on this?
It's becoming harder and harder to sell tickets. I would say now, my team and I in Esplanade, we have to work 10 times harder to sell the same number of tickets as we did 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, it was 10 times harder than 10 years before that. So people's patterns have changed. Number one is people buy tickets at the last minute. I was in New York recently and went to watch Dave Chappelle. So I went up. I was staying right next to the Radio City Music Hall. So nice. I went right up to the box office, and 3 days before the show, only half the tickets had been sold.
Wow.
And then my friend who wanted to see the show went to try and get a ticket on the day itself, and there were only 10 tickets left. So I don't know. It's a global trend. People wait until the very last minute to buy tickets, unless it's Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran, and then they go and buy tickets weeks in advance or months in advance. Sometimes the tickets for those kind of shows sell out within an hour or 10 minutes even. But, that's just generally the pattern that we see now. So it's been becoming harder and harder to do it. I mean, ticket sales have not been great, but they're not bad either. So I'm hoping to see it, at least 2/3 of the hall full. And that might actually be wishful thinking because, like I said, it's really become quite tough. But we're hoping that people who've been reading the articles have been coming out and you guys kindly putting me on radio. I'm hoping that there will be a last minute surge, and I'll do like Dave Chappelle and sell out on the day itself.
Hey, maybe I got a suggestion. Maybe you should change your name either to Jeremy Swift or Taylor Monteiro.
Yeah,
that might drive some ticket sales. You never know.
Or just Elvis.
That might do it. That might do it.
All right.
So good that the government's giving a cultural pass where they're giving you about $100 for people to buy tickets to go and watch a show or so on. But that's from July, so I kind of miss it for this show. But maybe in the future shows, people will spend their cultural pass on one of my shows or one of the Jazz Association Orchestra shows.
There you go.
It is tougher, Jeremy. We have lots of artists on this show, as you know. They often say the same thing. The competition for eyeballs, the competition for bums on seats is tougher than ever. And yet here we are, 65th birthday concert. You keep going year after year. What is it, Jeremy, that inspires you to keep getting on that stage year after year?
I'm still in love with music after having done this for 49 years. I mean, actually, Esplanade and I are planning something for my 50th anniversary at the end of next year. But I can tell you that, right now I'm sitting in front of the piano, and right after we finish this, I'm going to put in 2 hours of practice for the concert. I just love doing it. I'm not bored of it. Last year I went back to school at the age of 64 to take a postgraduate diploma in film scoring and orchestration to regain my skills. I actually won an award for Best Music Score in New York in 1991 at the International Radio Festival of New York. And then I promptly dropped it to concentrate on being a jazz pianist. But now, 30 years later, I actually went back to school. It was really rough going back to school at 64. All my classmates were 30 years younger than I was, 40 years younger than I am. But, it was wonderful. And I did the course mostly online, but I did go to the campus in Bulgaria, in Sofia, Bulgaria, to work with the orchestra, with the full 52-piece symphony orchestra. And, I can't believe I finished it, that I'm going to graduate. I mean, officially the graduation ceremony is later this year, but I finished the course and I passed the course, and I can't believe it. Now I feel itchy. I feel like going back to school again and do a Master of Fine Arts, perpetual student. But that's music and art, right? Yeah. And then you never stop learning. And if you do, that's when you give it up. That's when you hang it up.
Yeah, I think you should go search out that movie, Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
But, I can see you emulating that. Anyway, Jeremy, we do have to run, but thank you so much for coming on. Jeremy Monteiro's 65th birthday concert, State of My Art, coming on the 14th, next Friday at the Esplanade, 7:30. Tickets are available through the Esplanade. And please get out there and support Jeremy and a bunch of other great musicians. We wish you break a leg on this one, Jeremy.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Thanks, Neil. Nice to talk to you again.
Thanks, Jeremy. Good luck with the show, my friend. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.